Welcome back to episode 4 of the Lure Battle Perch League, where every cast can make all the difference. We have 7 of the UK top lure anglers that are going to go head to head in a unique bank-only perch fishing competition. Filmed throughout the UK, this series captures the highs and the lows of competitive lure fishing. Viewed across 8 action-packed episodes with over 16 hours worth of fishing, see and watch the techniques and tactics and dramas unfold on the bank. There are rules, but we will learn them as the series goes along. And as for the goal, it's to see who will be crowned the Lure Battle Perch League champion of 2025. Now, sit back, cast in, and enjoy this week's battle. So before we get into it, let's just have a quick recap from episode 3. We can see Hayden currently holds that top water point with his 32cm perch. Ash still tops that number point with 167 perch so far, but Michal is top of the leaderboard with his top 5 and the biggest fish. Remember, this episode covers the last 2 hours of day 1 and the last opportunity for the guys to grab the all-important 4 points that are available each day. So let's get straight back on the bank and see what happens.
So welcome to episode 4. I've had a think about what we're going to try and do, and I think we're going to give it 15-20 minutes here just to see if we can break 200 fish for the day. And if we do it with plenty of time left, we're going to go to a spot a bit further upriver. It's a slim chance, but there is a chance of potentially catching a mid-40 off the top. We had a 44 on Sunday, so a few days ago, and I haven't fished it since. So if the bigger fish are still in the area, we have got a genuine chance of doing that. But it is a risk because, like I say, it's 40 odd minutes travel time, and if it don't pay off, we're going to potentially blank in that area, and it's pretty much wasted the whole episode. So one thing I do want to do though is just persevere here for 15-20 minutes, see if we can get another. I think we need 28 fish, and 33 fish. And then we've broken the 200 barrier, so that's the plan anyway. Let's see if we can get them. So I've got 2 rods set up now. I've got one rigged up, both on size 8 Ilex. Little drop shot hooks. I've got one with a 5cm kiddie on and one with a 7.6cm kiddie on. Definitely the most effective on the day has been the smaller one. The problem is we are sort of hampered by casting range. So I've set both up and I'm using the smaller one while the fish are in close, and then when the bite dries up I switch to the slightly heavier one. And for a weightless 7.5cm lure, you can cast that really far on the right gear. The 5cm one is obviously going to be tricky to get any range at all, as you can see. But yeah, the 7.5cm one, you know, you can get a good 30 yards on that without any issues at all on the right gear. Rods that we're using today, we've got the my favourite Gunki rods. We've got the Ocean Tribes Rock. We've also used the new overtake range as well today. It's what we had the 40cm perch on this morning, and it's what we had the pike on as well. Really impressed with them rods, but I've got them rigged up for cranking on one of them and chatterbait fishing, and the other one's rigged up for topwater fishing. That's why I'm not using them for this. They'd be perfect for this, but I've got these rods rigged up already on fluorocarbon, and that's what I want for this really, because the fluoro sinks. It just gives you a tiny bit more, it just drags the lure slightly under the water when you want to fish it subsurface rather than skipping it along the top. So the bite's dried up in the edge. We're going to switch over to the 7.5 and we're going to chuck it out there. See what I mean about the range? It's fairly gentle flick that. Usually if they're not hitching the lures up against the wall, they'll be out in open water again. Don't think we're going to get one on that cast. You know pretty quickly if you're going to catch a fish or not, purely because the fish are straight on it. If you get maybe 10 yards from where you've originally cast and you've had nothing, the chances are you're not going to get a bite. So Again, you look at that, no fish following that in. So there's no point bringing it all the way back, all the way to the edge, because you're just wasting time. You'll notice little patterns like that when you're fishing, so you'll know when to do it. Sometimes you'll get fish follow you right in and they'll hit it under your feet. That's not really been a pattern of today. The fish have been on it fairly quickly. Nothing again there. Like I say, if this carries on like this, where it's quite difficult and we're not getting the numbers, we will just leave it and we will risk it and we'll go for a big fish. So if we end the episode and we've not had a 40 plus, you know it hasn't gone that well.
That's crazy how things can just change all of a sudden. Ash was catching a fisher chuck in episode 3 and now he can't even seem to get a hook up. So let's head over to Hayden and see how he's getting on after his move.
Welcome back guys to episode 4. I am at a different spot now again. We've moved. The fishing is getting a little bit tougher now. The heat is really hot right now. Yeah, we're finding some shade, bit of cover. Not super deep this section, not much weed around, not any flow either, so just a straight dead bit of river. And wish me luck. Let's go. There we go guys, nice little perch on the jerkbait. I just spotted some feeding activity in the margin down there. Perch chasing bait to the top. So one cast with a jerkbait and this guy nailed it. Nice fish, 30 centimeters.
Nice bit of sight fishing from Hayden there. Just finding them fish, it just makes all the difference. Well done Hayden, great little upgrade there. Let's move up to Scotland and see how Michael's getting back on.
Welcome back guys, episode 4. Right now we are quite struggle with the numbers and the tactics doesn't change. We're gonna try catch a few fish. First of all we need to find them. Unfortunately, the last spot didn't deliver it at all. There wasn't any bite, any touch, nothing at all. So we decided move back and try to catch some big fish because it looks like the numbers point that is impossible right now for me. So I'm gonna put new gobby and try to catch the big one. Let's go. Zaklika. Wee tiny bites, very far away from the shore. Very tiny one. So guys, the first fish of episode 4. We need at least double or triple size of that fish, but still happy. Fish is a fish. It's hard to take any bite, any touch. It looks like the fish is switched off or just swim away. Only what is left is keep casting. You never know.
There is so much water in front of Michael, I wouldn't even know where to start. Keep fan casting, Michael. You're going to find them eventually, but I'm not too sure if you should really go for that number point. However, let's go and find Charlie, see if he can catch a few.
Welcome back to episode 4, and yes, you may have noticed we're not in the same place. We've had a little bit of a move, same water, just on the opposite bank, and we're going all or nothing, going for broke. We're going top waters to see if we can get a big fish. If we can get one big fish on the top water, I'll be quite happy. We're very close to what I was sort of aiming for total numbers wise, and we may still dip back in right at the end just to sort of round that off, but we're going to spend about an hour on the top waters just along this bank here. It's shallow, it's reedy, there's lily pads. There could be a big fish hanging around, who knows? We won't know unless we try, so let's do it. I'm just trying to analyse how I think it's going for me. It's so hard not knowing what everyone else is doing or has done. I did say sort of 30 to 40 fish would be good for the numbers, but you never know. Someone could have gone and absolutely murdered them and had 100, 150, who knows. But sort of tactically, I think a lot of the guys competing are big fish anglers. You know, you look across the board and Robbie and Ash and you know, Hayden, and they all like catching big perch. There's potential that any of them just change tack and go for numbers. I think Will Pender will likely go for numbers, and again he could absolutely shock me and not, but he's good at scratching a bite. He's a good comp angler. He's a brilliant LRF angler. So there's every potential he might go and try and get on numbers, which is sort of why I chose the tactics I did, and thinking that there'll be less of them going for numbers rather than big fish. Plus the fact, at the moment, I haven't really got anywhere I can drop on any numbers of big fish. So my only option really was to go for numbers. Yeah, I don't know. I think the 27 on the top water is not a bad fish. There's every chance someone said Ash could quite easily have caught a bigger one on the top water where he is and what time of year it is. I think he could have banged a 40 plus on the top water. I think he would probably go for it as well. Most of them maybe not. Hayden, again, knowing where he fishes, every potential he'd gone for a big fish on the top water. I don't know. I'm relatively pleased with how the day's gone, because I've sort of hit the target, or near enough hit the target of how many fish I wanted to catch. But where do I think I've sort of come in the big scheme of things? Don't know. Middling, I think, is probably a good shout. But I'm hoping tomorrow we can do something a little bit more exciting. So I am conscious that today most of it has just been watching me drop shot in small fish, and understand that's not the most entertaining thing in the world to watch. But tomorrow we'll do something a little bit different, go somewhere a little bit different, and try and catch them in a different way. I'm not really feeling this. There's one more swim down the bottom here, so I'm smothered in pads. I might try there quickly and then up on the boat ramp on the jetty. I'm just not feeling it. No, I'm calling it. I'm going to try it on the boat ramp by the jetty, and then straight back over the other side.
Hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Perch League. It's episode 4 and we are trying to get upgrades. That is the plan for this episode. I've got 5 fish in and around 120 centimetres of perch so far. Need to try and get all of those fish over 30 centimetres really in this next session. 35 per fish would be absolutely fantastic. And if we can find a bigger fish, that would be a bonus. We've seen them, it's just getting one to take a lure. So we are gonna move around some structure and see if we can find those fish. There is one spot that I know that is definitely holding a fish because I've seen it. Whether or not we can take it to get her to take is the question. So come with us, let's grab the rods and go and see if we can find a few perch. So we are one fish in, just had one little non-measurable perch. And now it's just a case of trying to find those upgrades like we said at the beginning. So we're just going to keep banging at the door and see if we can find some bigger fish. As you can see, we are back in the same location as we were in the last episode. There's obviously a few fish along here, so we're going to try and winkle a couple more out. I'm going to leave that drop shot because I'm lazy, and I'm going to pick up the BFS rod with a little 5 gram cheb weight and a TRD bugs, just to see if any of these fish have become a little less spooky. It's lovely to cast underneath the bridge with a bait caster setup as well. So we saw a decent perch in the last episode here, so fingers crossed we can find that perch. Hiya.
Looks like another bit of tungsten bites the dust, so we'll leave Adam there to retie and we'll head over to Exeter and join Will and see what he's up to.
So we finished up the last hour fishing literally on a pub's patio, and it would have been rude not to. So Perch League 25, cheers. We're going to stick it out here for a bit. Fishing isn't prolific, but we lost a bit of time to the drive the last time, so I'll see what we can do. My plan's out the window. I'm just going to play for numbers today and see how things pan out. But yeah, I hope the other guys are doing well. Best of luck to them, and thanks for watching. Sip. Fish, hopefully.
We wait, yeah.
Hello, doggos. Hello. Hello. It's not the most hectic fishing, but it's enjoyable. Some big old carp. That's a big one now. It's a big common cruise by, right by my line. If I had the right lures, we could get them. That would be weed. Mate, we're just in the sunshine at a pub. Doesn't matter what happens.
That is probably the best bit of beer garden fishing I've ever seen. Well done, Will. Great effort there. But let's head over and find Robbie and see if he's made it to the pub yet.
Here we go, we're here in episode 4. We've done our spot move. This is the final spot of the day. We've got about an hour and 3/4 worth of fishing left to do. Fingers crossed we can nick a couple. It's going to be tough in these conditions. The really good thing is there's a pub over there behind us. So however we get on, we'll be summarising the day in a nice cosy pub. And yeah, things haven't been panning out quite right, but I felt like my tactics have been strong. We've just sort of fished our way through waters, blinding good looking areas with the top water. Usually in good summer conditions I'll bring fish up, and then the more deep, clear, weedless pockets we've been fishing with the jigger rig. Again, another fantastic sort of tactic for tempting perch out of those clear sort of tree covers and deeper holes. We've got the weightless flukes, or in this case it's 1.5 gram now, and that's brilliant for twitching over the top of the weed beds and just covering water. And finally we have got the micro kit, but with the water being as coloured as it is, the micro kit's not really proving that useful to us. But we're going to give it a go. Hopefully we'll find a fish around here. We'll give it a few chucks with the top water to start. With any luck there'll be a fish or two kicking around the structures. Basically we're just working along this section of wall across from us. We're just going to work it bit by bit, slowly making our way back towards the main town. We might double back and go out. It just depends what time we've got. So yeah, we'll see. We will see.
That's us all caught up with the anglers now. I think we're going to have to change this episode to the Perch Pub League. However, the guys are very tired, but we do know it's only going to take one good perch to change everything.
So we've got 5 fish. We need another 28, I think. I think we need 28. I would really like to break 200 fish. Not going to do it, keep losing them, I like that. Right, they're close. So I actually think if we can do 200 fish and then move and try to get that big one at the end, it's going to really help us with what we do tomorrow, because if we go there and we don't catch the big fish, then that being sort of the banker big fish spot at the minute, then sorry fish, that being like the banker big fish spot at the minute, if that doesn't produce today, then I don't think there's any point chasing the big fish tomorrow, and then it may be a case of just trying to do the numbers again. I don't want to force it on the big fish, because all of the big fish spots are quite far from each other, so you're wasting a lot of time for potentially very little reward. But yeah, I think priority, get 200 fish and then finish the day, hopefully have a chance of catching a 40 plus off the top. They're on it, yes. He's clicked. Yeah, I think tomorrow's plan all depends on them big fish being there. If they are, and we can get 2 40cm fish on the card today, then I'll try to fill the card tomorrow and get 3 more 40s, which 3 is doable. 5 in a day as it's fishing at the moment, I don't think is, like locally anyway. So it all depends on getting that 40, but like I say, I really want to break 200. I'll break 200 and we'll move. Don't need a huge amount of fish to do it. They will not take it when it's like that. It's got to be moving at speed or they're not having it. Weird. See, see, that's speed again. So I think a lot of people, not everyone, but I think you see a lot of people come down here and not catch much. And I think it's because they're trying to catch numbers, and I think catching lots of perch is almost sort of, you almost associate drop shotting and finesse fishing and things like that, which this is finesse fishing, but it's sort of like power finesse fishing, because you're fishing light, you're fishing tiny baits, but you're fishing them aggressive. And it's not something that you see too many people doing, especially around here anyway. If you can fish fast and don't let those fish focus in on what it is they're actually about to eat, I think it could be really beneficial. We've stayed here a little bit too long. I only wanted to give it 15-20 minutes, we've given it just over half hour. I still need 20 fish. I might do 200 fish, but not here. Well, again, we would do if we spent the whole episode here, but I do want to see whether those big fish are in that spot. So I'm going to have 8 more casts, and unless we get 8 fish in 8 casts, then we're going to move. They're on it. Yeah. Ah, hey, another one will come off. Get to the drawing board tonight. We'll rig these up slightly differently if we do this again tomorrow. Can't be losing that. We've probably had 1 fish for every 2 bites we've had. Say, I always go on about fishing effective. That is not effective fishing. Right, 1 cast up there, 1 cast up there. We'll move and we're going to go for a big one off the top. But we're fishing for them in a very specific way. We'll show you when we get to the spot.
So it looks like Ash is going to be on the move, and great to see him catching so many fish with that power, finesse, speed fishing that he's doing there. But he's obviously going to try and catch a big one, so let's leave him to it and catch up with Hayden.
Right, we've just come back to one of the same spots. And I've got my top water down at this far margin and got a follow straight away from a nice perch, but no hook up. Seems to be the only lure they are reacting to at the minute. We're going to try the creature bait again, as it worked for me last time. So let's see how we go. There's millions of them down there, I can see them. I think jerkbait and the top water are just doing bits today, aren't they? Give you another click. And away we go. Oh, they're tucked right in here, some of the big perch. They open automatically with the levels. That is going to help me, that. It's really going to help, I think. They come up from under that ledge just there. So the flow has pushed them back, which I thought it would. They come up and over that ledge and try to nail it. Six. He's still chasing. Still chasing. Come on. Ah! Like that. You alright? I think I can lift him. Cool, nice fish on the jerkbait, right up against the wall, tucked up in that cover. Come up and absolutely nailed the jerkbait. Not an upgrade, but a very nice perch. Let's get her back and get some more.
As you can see, Hayden has been really working those lures in that fast water, and it just goes to show you that all important pause really can make a difference when jerkbait fishing.
What I'm thinking that it's not enough time to change the spot, but at the same time that spot is just empty. We tried quite a lot of different lures. Didn't help. The old bite is quite far away from the shore, so that means the fish move from the shallow to deeper area. Only what I can do is I move again a wee bit forward, but at the same time very soon, it's like maybe another 30 meters, starts shallow and super rocky. I'm gonna lose a lot of lures over there, so I need to stay in the deep water and just make a hope and still casting. Never give up. I lost it. There it is. Ah, so good to feel a bite, guys. Right. When you're fishing, you have good days and bad days, and believe me, this is not a good day, right? I'm happy. It's not the biggest fish, it's probably around 20 centimeters, but I'm gonna net it anyway because I already lost one fish. I don't want to lost more. Small fish, but brings big happiness, guys. So let's continue fishing. Absolutely nothing. What I'm thinking, I'm gonna back again for jigging. I'm gonna try to find some fish, and then if I'm gonna find them, I'm gonna use a drop shoot again. But I was really thinking that we're gonna find a small perch over here, but the same, it looked like something changed because a few spots already didn't deliver it when the last few days the fish was here. So we're not gonna waste our time. We still need to casting. There is a perch. Oh, there is a two perch. Bastard. Oh, they must follow the lure. So they're here, but they want to bite.
Well, what do they say? Never leave fish to find fish. We've essentially wasted an hour really going to try and find something else that didn't pay off. So we are back. I'm conscious of the fact that I haven't caught the fish in this episode yet. So we've got about an hour left. So we're halfway through episode 4. And now it's a little bit of just salvage something, see if we can catch a few fish and just up our total a little bit. And then there's always the opportunity if something pops up to try and grab a big one off the top again. This breeze has got up. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll soon see. But yeah, back to exactly what we was doing. Drop shot on the bottom, the little Ilex Magic Minnows, I think they're called, and just work through again and just try and start ticking them off. Yep. Oh, thank God for that. I've caught one fish in this episode now. Go, no need to measure, and it is my first click of episode 4. Sea fish here, but they're just not really on it. I don't know if I've really made the right choices this episode in particular. Everything else has sort of gone semi to plan. Like I said, you can never know what everyone else has done, but I had in my mind, I was going for numbers. I wanted 30 to 40 fish on the first day, and I've near enough got there. Well, I actually don't know how many more I need to hit 40, but I'll be close to it. If someone gets more than that, then I've still got to where I wanted. But I've made some mistakes. This last episode, I think I've made the old classic mistake of leaving fish to find fish. I should have just stayed on and just work my way through, because any one, I mean, I know they've all been mostly small. There's nothing saying there couldn't have been a bigger one come through. I should have just stuck with what I was doing and just played a numbers game, just averaged out and trying to catch a big one amongst all the small ones.
So it's gone quiet. As you would imagine, we're now in the middle of the day, started early. And we are approaching kind of 1 o'clock, and it's dead. So I'm just trying to work out where to finish up the day and just try and winkle out something decent. The problem is the swim that we've got down there, where we saw something decent, I'm not 100% sure whether we'll catch it, and we could spend the next hour there going through lures, going through methods, trying to find one of those fish, and they just have moved up, and we're going to struggle to access them, and therefore we'll only have the one fish on the clicker. or we go somewhere else and there's actually no fish there whatsoever, and we'll still have one fish on the clicker. So I think we should go up to the bend, which we'll do now, and then finish the last 20 minutes back on that spot and see if we can win for one more out. But it is that annoying middle of the day lull, and it really does feel quite dead. So I'm going to get the motivation up, we'll go up to the corner and then see you in a sec.
Didn't she replace fucking Judge Scott?
Fish help. There we go. Nothing big, nothing clever, but we're steadily catching. Perfect. So how I'm fishing it is just a simple drop shot. So the weight is below, hook is tied to the main line. That way you're presenting it. Let's make that change of approach. I'm just gonna initially stick on the drop shot because I can use that as a controller to drift along the edge of the wall. Mag bite chunkies. We'll start with that. Okay. So we're not getting that initial reaction from the bright yellow. High-tech spider. A skirted head and then the little legs. If anything can wind the fish up into biting, then shy of going to a chatterbait, that's the lure to do it. I am seriously sweating. If nothing else, we'll switch back and slog it out. My closest river that holds predators is exactly the same. It's 100 miles. It's 50 yards that way. That's the closest I've got to predator fishing. So I don't have the repertoire. But what I do have is lures that I trust will get me fish, even if I've got to make that travel, that commute, you know, be it for a competition or for fun. I know that I've got lures that will just catch me fish. There's nothing worse than going hundreds of miles and blanking.
It was weird, it felt like I had taps there, but well, we're just going to move spots again, just a little bit further around the bank. We've had a little go against the wall there. It seems like everything's switched off. We're not getting any taps on the drop, and I can feel the stream of weed waving against the lure through that rod. Even long pauses, short pauses, you name it. It's like it is just dead. Like, progressively, as more of this floodwater's come in today, the fishing has just switched off. I think we'll persevere with our tactics today because it's too late to bother trying to go for a number point, but I think tomorrow's gonna be a wasping day. Funny little bite that. A very ambitious little perch. And yeah, that's one click. Where's my clicker? We have a click. We're at a steady pace this afternoon of a perch every 2 hours. Buddy was trying to eat that for a while. He was probably chewing away on that. Because this is pretty hopeless. There we go. There's a click. It was in my hand. Ah, oh bugger. Oh, that'll be a snag perch. Great. Oh, bugger. Gonna have to change that head over. That's no good. We're not going to get past 3 in 2 hours if I keep dropping them like that. So I will take off the barbless jig and fish with the little micro barbed one.
So we've took a massive gamble coming here. We've lost about 40 minutes, 45 minutes of fishing time. I was hoping that there was going to be a boat here, which is gone, but it is what it is. Yeah, so basically if we end the episode and we don't get a 40, then it's been a massive, massive error in judgment coming here. But it will make a mind up what we do tomorrow. So if we get one more 40, then we'll go for that, the bonus point on the top 5. If we don't, then tomorrow's going to be out and out numbers. What will be a kick in the nuts is if we get beaten by the points today by 100 fish, then can't do nothing about that. Fair play to whoever's caught that. If we get beaten by 40 or 50 fish, then that is a kick in the nuts, because we would have probably have done that. We had an hour and a half left in that spot. The fish were still biting, but we have risked it all for a big one. So we've got about half hour. I've potentially lost my wallet, which could make the move even more painful, but let's see if we can get a fish first and I'll worry about that after. Fish. Oh, that was it. That was the chance. Gutted. Absolutely fucking gutted about that. Could have been the fish. Well, that is shit. That was really, 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 really unfortunate. I could have made that trip worthwhile, but I don't know. That was that had that properly. Sort of the head down there as well, so that was a good fish. That. No, I think that chance has gone there. So we took a big risk. It ain't paid off. We got lucky. We got the fish that we was after to hit, but he didn't stay pinned, unfortunately. But that's fishing the end of the day. I think to be in a position where we've probably given up 50 fish on the numbers point, we've lost a big fish, and I've lost my wallet all in the space of an hour. Gotta be honest, I'm a bit pissed off. But we'll get going to the end. Last cast of the Lure Battle Perch League Day 1. So a quick overview of the day. I was hoping for a bigger fish, but if that was going to happen, it would have been in the first 2 spots. So I was a bit disappointed with that, but it was never a guarantee. They've been a bit hit and miss anyway. So I'm happy with the numbers. We've got just over 180 fish, I think, on the card. I did take a big gamble though to come here, and it hasn't really paid off. We got the hit from the fish that we needed, but it didn't stick, unfortunately. So to lose that fish and to lose potentially, well, not potentially, an hour and a half fishing in the other spot where the fish were still feeding, we have probably cost ourselves 50 or 60 fish there, which is a shame. If we do get beaten by the numbers by that kind of margin, I will be kicking myself a little bit, really. But if not, if somebody has absolutely blown me away by hundreds of fish, then well done to them. But I think tomorrow, there's no one spot that has been producing big fish consistently. So I'm going to bin that off, and tomorrow we're going to go out and out for the numbers point and hoping to get somewhere we're going to have 300-400 fish. I'm sure that we can do it, especially if the fish are there feeding like there was today. We'll get a little bit more rigged up specifically for that, so I'll have all 4 rods ready to go, slightly different rigs on each one. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed day 1, and we'll see you in day 2.
So that wraps it up for day 1 for Ash. Massive gamble for him moving away from those fish and trying to catch a big one, but it didn't pay off, unfortunately. He did lose one, but the good news is he didn't lose his wallet, so happy days.
Well, I had to work for that one. Are we not counting this? We can't. We're hooked in the sides. Unfortunately, that one does not count. Hanging around underneath the weed. They're following it around as like cover. Super weird. So just down here in this flow, on the edge of the flow, they seem to be sat around there, but most recently there's a clump of weed doing circles, and right underneath it is a load of these guys. Thanks for coming, girl. Quite possibly the last perch of episode 4. Find out. 20 minutes. The creature baits have really worked well at this spot. Not sure why, but we'll give them another shot. Nah, can't get no movement down there. I'm gonna change. I'll take that for the last cast. And this is the last fish coming out today on the jerkbait. The jerkbait has definitely been the star of the show today. Really impressed with it. Right guys, that wraps up day 1. Not been the most eventful day. I'm gonna say, oh, it's so hard to describe. I'm gonna say I'm 50-50 with today in terms of happy with my captures and sizes and whatnot. I think I definitely enjoyed fishing today. I definitely found perch in all the spots that I was at, so didn't really do anything wrong there. I think the fact that we are a few days into river season has not really helped me, as some of the spots have most definitely been picked apart already. But overall, I've got a half decent top 5. I think my numbers for today are 33 perch total, and my top 5 is 157. I think, yeah, top water is 32 centimetres. Definitely would like to upgrade that tomorrow. So yeah, not great on the numbers. A good average size of fish, I would say. Overall, 50-50 happy-wise with today, but we still have all the points to play for tomorrow, so we'll see what happens, and I'll see you guys bright and early.
So don't take it away from yourself there, Hayden. You finished up on 162 centimetres for your top 5. So we'll catch up at the end of the episode to see where that places you overall.
Can you imagine, guys? So it's 3 minutes to the end. 10 minutes to the end, and I got my third fish. I still need to land it, so. It's a small fish, a very small fish, but. Oh, you bastard. Don't lose it, don't lose it. Got it. 7.5 centimeter shatties, slim. Third fish in the episode 4. Unbelievable, but hey ho, happy days. You're going to get another one. Give me a second. Right guys, so episode 4, last cast. Hopefully it's gonna deliver it. To be honest guys, today we didn't have a lot of joy. We are struggling with the wind. I could blame that wind, but at the same time I can blame myself as well. We make a decision and probably that was wrong. We got some good fish, not the best, but 40 plus is always good fish. Fish close to the 40 is a nice perch. To be honest, I was thinking that we're gonna have some really nice chunky perch, but it was really hot today. The wind changed a lot. Sunny weather as well, but like I said, I can blame only myself. Hopefully tomorrow is a new day, new hope, and we're gonna catch them all. So guys, see you at the episode 5. Take care, hopefully you enjoy just how we bet. Greetings from Scotland. Take care guys, see you next time.
Okay, and that is the last cast of episode 4 and day 1 out of the way. Episode 4, that was a tough one. I made some wrong decisions there, I think. I should have just stuck with what was working earlier and not gone to try and change the script halfway through. It was a bad decision, but there you go. You live by them, you make them, you live by them. As a whole, I think I've topped up with 39 for the day, which, you know, I wanted 40 at the end of this morning. If you said to me, you know, 40 fish at the end of the day, I've said, fantastic, I'll take that. So I'm not displeased. I didn't expect to catch numbers. I'm quite pleased I got one on the top water. Obviously not a monster at 27, but I'm pleased I got one nonetheless. And I'm hoping we got some cool footage of it as well for you all. So anyway, that's us done for the day. See you back in episode 5, where hopefully things are going to be very different. We're going to be a very different venue tomorrow. Very different tactics. And I'll do my best not to use a drop shot.
Right, so we've probably got 15 minutes left. We've had one fish in this session. It really has quietened off. We, hit a bit of a purple patch in episode 3, and made hay. But if I'm honest, coming back now, it really does feel like it's quietened off. So, based on the fact we've seen a big fish in this corner, I'm going to properly zone in, and I'm just going to fish drop shot. I'm just going to work my way through and just see what we can pick up. And if we catch one, great. I'm really hoping that bigger one is knocking around. I'm not expecting fireworks. We're just going to keep fishing this low and slow and see if we can get one of them to take it. We're just going to have to see what happens. But if not, it will be a very fast walk back to the pub for a debrief and a bit of a change of plan for tomorrow. But We'll talk about that later in the episode. Right now, I'm just going to focus on trying to winkle one of these fish out. Oh, come up, come up. There's another one for the clicker. It's not an upgrade, but it is a clicker. So I'm gonna pop this one back. There's another fish on the clicker. I don't actually know how long I've got left. Can have a look now, find out, but definitely a chance for a couple more casts. That was, yeah, there they are. There's some small ones, but then there's bigger ones built in. So that is number 3 for the session. All right, we're gonna go for some numbers. That is number 4. Right, so that is that, all out. That is a very, very frantic end to that particular session with not a lot going on in between. I think, to be honest, we got done by a cormorant. So where the fish were, it was stacked up with fish. You know, you change your lure and they were coming back. Obviously we took a break and then they just weren't there when we came back to fish for them. So it felt a bit weird. We moved upstream, came back down to it. I thought they'd turn back on and just nothing happened. And then Mr. Cormorant started popping his head up just below, and I think he's been doing the rounds. He's been going, it's kind of both sides of the channel. I just think he's going round in a circle. In fact, he's just popped his head up over there as well. So I think those fish have just pushed down and some of the smaller fish have tucked into here. So we've managed to catch a few fish to save the clicker for the session, but no upgrades, unfortunately. But that is the way fishing is. I think we're on about 17, 18 fish, 120 or so centimeters. It is what it is, but that is the end of the first full day of fishing, all 4 episodes. Going to go back to the drawing board for tomorrow to decide what's happening for the next set of episodes. So time to go to the pub, work that bit out, but thanks very much for watching and we'll speak to you soon.
Better, but still waspish. Perch number 7. Okay, again. Fish number 9. As you've seen, the odd bite and drop fish. So we'll slog away. We've got 20 minutes. Done moving. It's too hot and the pub is calling me again. But I'm not smashing big perch. I'm catching fish and having fun. It's a competition, but it's a friendly one. And I know the other guys, I truly hope and I truly believe the other guys are getting in some really good fish, and I hope you're enjoying watching that. I'm working an edge I've got, which is to scale down fish ultralight and play the numbers game. It is points as much as it is fun. I can only apologise you've seen 10,000 10 centimetre fish, I wish. But yeah, they've not been big. But yeah, thanks for sticking with me. For those of you that are wondering what I've been using today, it has been the Kitech Shad Impact, little natural colours. This one's a blueback, silver belly, fished on a decoy hook, drop shot. It's not produced big fish, but it's produced a fair few fish, and we've had fun. Yeah, Kitech, Shad Impact. Alright, and that's it. That's a wrap of day one. Predator Tackle's Perch League 2022. Thanks again to Tacklewave UK for backing my play in this, and yeah, check out their products. Cheers.
Oh yeah. Might need back wine for this one. It's peeling drag too quick. Yes. Look at you. Number 5. There's a click. Not by the bank usually. I normally fish off a boat, but we're fishing a competition today. Now my cameraman's caught up with me, the fish have just buggered off. There's just a little shoulder pin fry. I was like, there's got to be a perch sat under them surely. And he was like that big. And he's on GoPro, so I can prove it. Doubt my perch, man, don't doubt my perch. He was real. And a whole click. Dave's definitely putting a minimum size rule in next year. Yeah, so we're calling it. It's time to give in for the day. It's been a challenging one, but we'll catch up with you in the pub. That's great, thanks, bud. Cheers, mate, thank you. I think you can guess where we are. My God, do we need it. It's been one heck of a tough day. Last couple of days, we've gone from having exceptionally warm weather to a phenomenal amount of rain. So much so this morning we were bailing the front of the house out to stop it from flooding. That's definitely impacted the river. Normally a bit of rain and low pressure can really switch on the perch. I think in this quantity it shut them off a little bit. We've scratched around, we've managed a small fish here and a small fish there. Usually on these staves, you know, you're picking up good numbers of fish in each spot. Yeah, it's been a grind. Catching a nice chub was a bonus, so maybe we should say chub fishing. But we've got a plan in mind for day 2, and I think what we'll do is we'll hit up more of these little tiny public staves. We'll actually fish properly for the numbers, try and catch a quantity of small fish, and have the Ned rod at the ready and the top water, just in case there is a feeding spell of bigger fish. Fingers crossed, we'll get on better in day 2. See you in the next episode.
Thanks, Robbie, and that brings us to the end of episode 4 and the halfway point of the competition. All the anglers now have completed and fished for a solid 8 hours, and it just goes to show you that the guys have had some very different experiences on the bank and fishing situations throughout the day. It does seem Robbie has struggled to find the fish, and he is currently sitting in 7th position with no measured top 5 and with only 11 perch to his name. Will has had some consistent action, but has only managed to score 93 centimetres with his combined top 5, and alongside a total of 73 perch in total over the 8 hours. Adam has continued to upgrade slowly and has a top 5 of 120 centimetres now, landing 19 perch in total. Charlie has put a lot of time into trying to catch those big ones off the top and was awarded with a 27 centimetre perch, but has found it hard to land any larger ones when it comes to his top 5 and his numbers. Hayden, however, does hold that top water point with that amazing 32 centimetre perch caught off the top from episode 3, and does hold a very respectable top 5 at 162 centimetres. Ash is definitely showing the way when it comes to the numbers, with a comfortable total of 182 perch, with only one measured 40 centimetre perch for his top 5. Now sitting nicely at the top is Michal, and he definitely seems to have the bigger stamp of fish in front of him, as he holds that big fish point at 41 centimetres and a great top 5 at 175 centimetres. I'm sure it's all going to change as we go into day 2, and let's not forget the all important bonus points that will be awarded at the end of the competition that can really make a difference to that overall final scoreboard. So thanks for tuning in once again, and we will see you next week. Please make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on next week's episode.